there, everybody? This is Samuel Fisher from Green Dispensary Marketing. Good to be back with you guys again with another interview. This is Craig. He is an entrepreneur in the cannabis industry. He's got some exciting news for us in regards to payment platforms and some new opportunities in the cannabis industry in 2024. Really excited to talk with him, share his ideas with everybody. How are you doing, Craig?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Sam, for having me today.
Awesome. Before we get started, what's the name of the company that you're running on this new cool payment?
Yeah, I own a company. Yeah, absolutely. I own a company called the Smart ATM. Some people think about an old dodgy, ATM, bank ATM type of machine, but we actually took technology from the ATM machines and put it into a POS, a point of service terminal that it sits at the transaction. So what we did basically was take there's a top half and a bottom half of an ATM machine. The top half, you put your card in, you put your PIN in, the bottom half spits out the money. So we basically took the top half and put that technology into a deja vu type of terminal that sits at the POS systems.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really exciting. Before we get started with all the bulk of that, I would like to know a little bit more about you and your journey as an entrepreneur. How did you get here?
Oh, well, it's interesting how I got here. I actually started straight out in the straight cannabis industry about 7 years ago. We saw the opportunity out in California, and we basically took a 10,000 square foot position in a building, and we've been growing, for legal weed for the past bunch of years. And our trials and tribulations in banking have been troublesome, and you get, basically you try to deposit cash, you get charged. You try to pay payroll taxes, you get charged. Everything is accounting charge because in the federal landscape is we can't bank. We're in a gray area altogether where cannabis is illegal to grow, illegal to buy, illegal to sell, but each state has their own agreement. But the feds still say you can't bank with us. So with that being said, there were some opportunities to figure out how do we bank and how do we get our cash in the bank without having it have to be counted and et cetera. So there were some, things that happened along the way is that I got introduced to a payment processing company that asked me about my relationship with a company, one of the big MSOs, who my friend was actually the president and CEO at the time. And there was a term called cashless ATM. Now, to me, that meant really nothing. But into the industry, it's actually huge, and there's plenty of companies who've made a lot of money along the way processing this type of transaction. So the transaction, mind you, I landed an account with this big MSO, and I made some money. And dealing with merchants that you don't know, they hide things from you, and and I got I would say it wasn't a very good business venture for me. I did make commissions along the way, monthly commissions, but it wasn't what was promised. So anyway, I kind of vowed in my position to take that money that I was actually earning and kind of figure out a better solution in the industry, because cashless ATM, if you really look at it, is that you have to sign a merchant service agreement. That merchant service agreement actually puts you on the rails, the gateway, and that gateway is to the Visa and MasterCard transactional rails. So what happens in cashless ATM is it automatically goes out and comes back in, where it actually masks the transaction. So and it looks like an ATM transaction, but it's kind of random. So there's in that particular transaction history there's a ton of chargebacks, because people get to their bank account and they say, I didn't do an ATM withdrawal. So now they can do a chargeback because it's on the rails. It's not a true ATM transaction. So what we did was we took it a step further, and I partnered with a couple companies to own a switch, own the bank, and basically we do the transaction on a straight off the banking rails and on the ATM only. So basically it's a true ATM withdrawal. So, we got into this place today where everything is still changing. PIN debit was around, that got closed down. That term, cashless ATM, is kind of a made-up term, and as people are getting more wary of it. It's going up and down. ACH is still around, which is probably a very safe way to do a transaction, but it's still dealing with bank to bank. So it's a gray area for a lot of different companies, but we're in a gray market space, and what we're trying to do is just kind of capitalize in this scenario and give people an avenue to, if their cashless ATM companies are going up and down, and I've been in business for 4 years without any interruptions. Why won't you talk to me? It doesn't cost you anything to do business with me. In fact, we could actually make you some money and some rev share if you need it. So there's plenty of opportunities that are coming around. We're starting to see some blockchain transactions coming around. I think with the USDT, dollar for dollar, there might be a play. There's some plays with some with a colleague of mine who has terminals that basically you can do a gift card transaction. So you're funding the card with your money, and then the gift card is actually buying cannabis. What we want to do is we want to make it so that the feds, the government, the banks, nobody gets really targeted, because they're not going to go after the company. They're going to go after the processor. They're going to go after the bank. So if you can make it under the radar of this, in this gray area, your company will last quite some time. If you're dealing in the Visa, MasterCard world, they're pissed because they're not making money. Because the feds are saying you can't get involved with a credit card transaction for an illicit product. So until the landscape changes, until the feds come around and approve, cannabis across the board in the United States, there's always going to be some sort of shifty type of characters out there trying to get over in this field. But those characters seem to be getting picked off and going down. There's a reason why one of the major POS companies, I'll leave nameless, but everybody knows on 420 what happens. It's cash day for those customers, because somehow they always get picked off on 420 to shut their systems down, and which kind of tells the industry they're doing something wrong or shady or something like that. We're not looking to be shady. We're not looking to hurt anybody. We're looking to help people, have their business not be all cash, because they need money in the bank. They need to pay bills. They need to pay employees. And the only way to do it is you can't, traditional banks are starting to come around, they're still federal banks. So they really have to be careful of what they do. But we can send money to any particular bank account. Legit, it's their money. It's paid in 24 hours back to them.
Okay, so just to kind of take a step back here real quick. And so basically how it works. And so you have two different solutions. I know you and I spoke personally. And so the main solution that you have is what you call cashless ATM. And so you just go to the checkout, you charge your credit card, and it shows up in your statement on the bank as an ATM withdrawal. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So basically what it is that it has the...
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, in that receipt, it basically shows you the address you were at to do it. Like it's the dispensary's address. So all of a sudden listen, when people are they're buying weed. So basically, someone's coming in and buying an ounce of weed or gummies or whatever available. Maybe doing it right away, and then all of a sudden they forgot that they bought it, or where they got it from, or that the fact is that now there's a random ATM transaction that they have no idea what it is. So and that's when they go, oh, I'll call my credit card company, I'll charge it back. Now the dispensary can't say anything; they just have to eat the charge, because they're doing that. They know what they're doing on that with their payment process. They get a $50, $50 charge plus the loss of the product and the money back to the customer.
One thing you and I mentioned,
So
or you and I
what was your
discussed personally. Oh, sorry. The one thing you and I discussed personally is that there's a roundup charge to kind of make it look like it's an ATM charge. And so, what does that typically
yes,
look like?
right. Well, that too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I left that out. Yeah, so basically what happens is the roundup. So the roundup is either a dollar, it could be $3, it could be $5, but you can't, like, for example, you can't walk up to your ATM machine and take out $3. There's some of them you can do in multiples of 5, 10, 20, etc. But
Yeah.
normally $20 is the minimum. So anyway, so they need to mimic that straight dollar roundup, so it's a whole number, and there's change given back. We're trying to eliminate the change. So so it's a straight. Here's my card. Here's my PIN. And I pay my $3.50 fee, and that's it. So everything is set on that dollar amount. So in this way, the dispensaries don't have to be that cash pay or back, because I think that's where companies are getting tripped up with having a draw, having employees touch money, or even just that flag of a roundup.
Yeah, this is really exciting stuff. And so, another thing that you briefly mentioned at the start of this is blockchain. And so, this is another thing we discussed personally. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, the blockchain, we're still in the sandbox with it. So we are in the process of building a system that the blockchain wallet, will be owned by the dispensary. Okay. And then what they'll have is that they'll, XYZ dispensary. And now if Sam Fisher is a client, customer, he's going to have XYZ wallet. And you're gonna, and you will fund that wallet with your bank account, with your credit card. It's not going to matter. And then what it's going to do is that it's going to buy dollar for dollar USDT, which will translate into a wallet situation, and then purchase the product and send to their wallet of choice. The dispensary owners. So once that is perfected, listen, that's going to be in the meta world where everything seems to be trending. No one can be able to track any of the money, because that wallet now, you can design that wallet to do anything. It's going to be a very AI wallet where I can run payroll through it. I can pay my bills with it. I can buy whatever else I want with it. I can pay my electric company. Everybody's accepting some sort of cryptocurrency in the world. I'm not a crypto buyer per se, personally, back and forth. I don't own any of the coins. I've done my research on the USDT, and it's the only platform inside of that crypto world that doesn't fluctuate. So you could put $1 million in there, and that tomorrow it's still going to be worth $1 million, and next month it's going to be worth $1 million. So it's just going to be it's for a seamless transaction where it'll be kind of cool where I know I'm coming into Sam Fisher's dispensary. Wait, I gotta put some money into my Sam Fisher wallet. Bang, and now I got money in my wallet. I walk up, I just the bud tender is going to give me a price, and I tap it into the wallet, bang, and it instantaneously will go over to the dispensary. So again, we're trying to make it so it's a seamless dollar for dollar transactional world instead of that roll up. But we're also trying to help companies out get away, from any type of hardship with a it's called a TMF, terminated merchant file. So a terminated merchant file from the feds is worse than any bankruptcy on your business. So, and they give it to people who mess around on their rails. If you're doing illicit transactions on our federal banking rails, you possibly could get this, what is known as a TMF. Companies, will just get closed down. The users will get the TMFs. The dispensaries owners, they can be applicable to get that type of mark on their personal name and social security number, etc. So because they do drill down deeper into who you are. So anyway, so the mainstay of the business is to get people compliant, and compliant means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. If I'm in an illicit business, right? I'm a retail operator. I know I still have to pay my taxes. I have state taxes. I have local taxes. That's all great, but if I can't bank, if I can't put it into a standard bank account, it makes it very difficult for me to do business. How do I pay vendors? How do I pay employees? How do I pay the electric company, et cetera? These type of things. So we're trying to give companies a better way to do it. And it's not for nothing. Not only in the cannabis industry, crypto. If this blockchain works, it's going to work for any company. It will. It's untraceable. I hate to use that word, but it's untraceable. The money is going to be seamless and move around anywhere they want it. And even if you're a big box company, and you want to get away from all the fees that associate with a credit card, credit card companies and et cetera, you could why wouldn't you have this application if it works for you, and people are getting more comfortable with it. It's not in that black hole anymore. It's a lot of people are talking about it. If you don't know, if you haven't heard cryptocurrency in the last more than ever in the last 60 days or whatever, you're living under a rock, but those aren't the people, the customers that are going to be talking. So the application could work for any vertical. We're going to be rolling out in the cannabis industry. I have a partner who owns a bank. I have a partner who has ACH for cannabis. I have a partner who has terminals and that gift card situation. So we're able to have a lot of things within our portfolio of payments to be able to offer a company if we know they're having issues. Okay, nobody really wants to admit it, that their payment processor is giving them issues, meaning I come in for the day and all my terminals are down, and now I'm walking in and I know that, hey, wait, Craig's company takes my debit card. Not today. Wait, I didn't bring any cash. So now I got to go over to the ATM machine, right? And think about this. Now I got to hit the ATM machine. This brings up actually a very good point, right? So the ATM machine, I walk up to, I put my card in, I pay my fee, and I take out $40, okay? Think about this scenario. I now walk up, I wait online, I get to the bud tender. The bud tender does their job and they upsell me to 100, okay? Think about that. I only have, wait a minute, I just took $40 and I just got hit for $5 out of that machine. Am I going back to that machine? No.
Ideally not.
I'll just right. So I'll just take the $40, right? So inherently, what happens in any retail situation, that we will spend more on a card than we will with the cash in our bank. So companies who only rely on cash and ATM machines are actually losing money. The average sale goes up with some sort of card transaction.
Very good point. Yep.
So. Yep, and that's really everything in a kind of a nutshell. Do you have any other additional questions?
So I think anybody kind of listening to this would immediately kind of have fear come to mind, or what if the big banks catch on to this? What kind of solutions do you have? Have you thought about that? Maybe they'll catch on to your systems. What would you say?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So basically, I'm asking, what if big banks were to catch on to these charges not being actual ATMs? What kind of solutions, or have you already solved that?
We're ready. We roll out. So we're in a bunch of a couple of hundred dispensaries now. It just really becomes a kind of a word of mouth, and what we have is an opportunity to still talk to everybody about it. If they're having a problem, or they don't like the roll up, or they don't like certain things that's going on in their industry and they're staying in cash, we could give them an application that has none of that. We're fully compliant. We're in basically, if any particular companies want to talk to the industry very well. We know that there are some shaky companies out there with very little background and support. I mean, I have cannabis banks supporting us. I have gentlemen in the industry that have design systems, who write code, who understand the landscape of it. And if we can offer them a system that's going to be solid and up and running every single day that they come in, and their money is deposited in 24 hours into their said bank accounts, we'd love to talk to them and help them out like we're helping everybody else out.
Yeah. This is really great stuff, Craig. I think you're going to help a lot of people. It sounds like you're getting ready to go. You have people trying to get a hold of you. One question for you. Where do you see Smart ATM in 5 years?
Well, we're growing every single year, so it's there's an exit strategy, obviously, So I think what's going to happen is the smart money, the Wall Street money, the managed money is going to start, like they do in every particular vertical. They'll come in and they'll start buying up these companies, and I hope to be one of those companies they look at and buy out. We'll hopefully be in a position where they say, hey, this makes sense. Listen. Payment processing, there's money to be made. There's money to be made for everybody, so it's a good thing. We do a lot of, it's sharing and caring. It's like, we want to help your business. We want to help you, get higher ticket sales using a debit card. We want to do a bunch of things for you. And we're also, help you in some rev share, to help you pay for the electric bill or pay your taxes or whatever it may be. Maybe give it to a charity, whatever you want it for. But we see ourselves in 5 years, hopefully with a big check and a buyout, and then we just do some consulting work, along the way to help them for the next 5 years.
Well, I definitely hope that that's what happens. I definitely wish you the best. I definitely appreciate
it. Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you for talking.
Absolutely, man.
And yeah, excited to hear more from you. See you get some sales and hopefully get that big.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man, and good luck with everything that's going on in your life.
Awesome. Well, you have a great day. It was great talking with you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. All right, take care.